Welcome to the Cross the Line Podcast. My name is Carlos Smith, and today I have another special guest with me here at the Ice House Comedy Club in Pasadena, California. Comedian. He's a breaker, which I'll let him tell you guys what that is. But I have with me Connor Cacciottolo.
Nailed it.
Man, thank you.
Nailed it, man.
Sure.
That's better than like 80%. Like I'm in the process right now of looking for a venue to get a monthly show up in town right now. And I don't know, just being in front of comics and being in that vibe, it's always good to be around comics because I feel like I'm around just people I can bounce ideas off of. And as I'm looking for venues, that's other people I can ask about. Like, what have you been excited about? What kind of jokes you've been excited about? What kind of places you've been excited about? And it's just, it's fun. It's networking. It's also just cool to be around more creative individuals, always. And that's why I love living here, is you're just around creative individuals almost 24/7.
We've been here since Friday. We've been here for a couple more days, but just to be able to, be in the presence of so many people, like comedians and people that just have a dream and a vision and just going after something, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's just so important just to be around that type of environment.
100%.
Even if you don't want to be a comedian, these people have a story, they have a journey, they have a process that they're going through.
Exactly. Well, with this festival especially, I feel like you've got people coming from all over. Normally, you just got your LA comics out here. But like this week specifically is cool because you got Chicago, New York coming in, Ohio, wherever coming in, and you guys coming in as well.
Absolutely.
To do this. I mean, it's crazy. It's so cool to see all the different areas, walks of life coming in to do the same show. So cool. Because I'm from Chicago as well, so I appreciate that. Yes. Yeah, from Chicago, went to college up in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, but moved out here right after graduation.
So it looks like y'all just swapped places. He's from Milwaukee,
we went to college together.
Okay.
That's how I know him. So he's
Gotcha.
the one that got me out here tonight to come to the show. He's crashing with me. That's my guy right there. Now, man,
Okay.
I haven't seen him in a long time, so it was really good to see him.
That's good.
And his comedy, because I haven't seen that since we graduated, pretty much. So yeah, no, it's really cool. And there's something about, I feel like, being from like anywhere else than LA and bringing that perspective and also finding those other people that share the same perspective. Because it is just a melting pot. You've got people from everywhere.
Absolutely.
It is crazy. But I wouldn't change it. Like, I love this place.
So you live out here now?
I live in Hollywood, yeah.
You live in Hollywood, okay.
Yeah.
So what was it like? What made you want to, after college, come out here and just live out here in Hollywood?
Growing up, I was always something creative. Like, I was always doing something with my voice, something with creativity. I knew I didn't want to just work like a banker job or work like finances or something like that. I knew there was something. My dad, he did improv growing up. I watched. So
you had that exposure to
kind of, yeah. Like I
dad.
watched his tapes when I was growing up, and that got me going. Like, oh man, maybe this is something I need to do. And then we did that in high school. Like we had a group in high school, and we were all right in high school. But then when I went to college, we had just a stellar group of people. The best cohesion between a group of people doing comedy, improv at the same time. It was amazing. But yeah, it's just something in me. Growing up, I saw it, creativity. I knew I didn't want to do kind of your regular beaten path. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I want to do something different. And also growing up, I knew I didn't want to do the same thing every day. You know what I mean? That's what's beautiful about comedy. Every set's different. Every crowd's different.
Absolutely.
Every show is different, and I love it. I love just being able to do anything creative out here. You have every outlet. We are in the mecca of it.
Absolutely.
And you have the amount of minds, creative minds you got out in one place is amazing. And then people that come to visit too, bounce ideas off. It's just, this is where it's happening. And that's the thing. Like Chicago, it's happening too, but I feel like here, it's just times 10. And that's why ultimately I could have stayed in Chicago, but here I wanted to.
It seems like it's something that's going on out here every single day.
Every day,
like
man.
It's always a show or something.
Something.
Whether it's early in a brunch or
Yeah.
middle day, nighttime.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's always something.
There's always something.
Even if you just want to try your hand at it and just get a feel for it.
Well, even like
do it.
exactly like it. Say film and TV industry. Say they just went on strike. We're still kind of on strike, coming off a strike. That stuff kind of fell off. and I didn't know kind of what to do. I had comedy, but that's obviously not paying the full bills, so I had to figure it out. And I found this job as a breaker, which was crazy because this was stuff I was buying into. I was on the other side of the screen, and I knew about this world, but I didn't know I could actually get a job in it. And here in LA, there's a place that was hiring 10 minutes from me. I'm in Hollywood. It was in West Hollywood, and ended up getting a job there. And it's one of my favorite jobs I've ever had out here. And it's such a niche job that incorporates hosting, personality, comedy, as well as sales, as well as sports knowledge. It incorporates a lot of things I love, and that's what's just so beautiful about this. I didn't even know they were offering that job out here, and here it is, hitting on all the cylinders. You know what I mean?
And
it's
for
so
people
cool.
watching this, when you say a breaker, can you break that down? Because I think you said something about you open up cards.
Yeah, so basically a breaker is like a live stream host that facilitates opening up packs or boxes of sports cards. We do, at the company I'm at, it's called DAP Sports. We do football, we do baseball, we do basketball, UFC, you name it, hockey. We do Star Wars, we do Marvel. Like anything you want to open and rip, we offer it. And I'm the guy that's like on the camera, facilitating. You see my hands. You want to buy a pack, we offer it. You can buy it right in the TikTok shop. As soon as I see that order come through, I open it. And it's that instant gratification of maybe hitting something big. You know what I mean? And it also incorporates, like I said, hosting, entertainment value. Like I like to make it a show, kind of like
And
when
you
I'm
still
on,
get to be yourself and use your personality
100%.
and make it funny.
That's the best part about it, is I kind of am my full self. And if you're a buyer, you could take it or leave it. Some people don't like my style; they like another breaker style. Some people love my style and they stick with me. And that's the beauty of it. And you kind of build your own brand, you build a bigger brand for the company you work at. But it's really fun because it's just, it's kind of like live stocks with sports, because you see these players week to week. Say CJ Stroud right now. I know he just got hurt, but his stuff has been flying.
That's a popular card.
Popular. Everybody's looking for CJ Stroud right now. Everybody's looking for Victor Wemby.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing where we're opening packs all day looking for those big cards, and you have the opportunity to buy it, immediately see it opened, and have it be kind of a show. And then we send it to you, package it, and you get it in,
And I bet you'll be
days.
amazed at how many people, tune in to see something like that.
It's amazing. Like on our main stream, we get anywhere from 500 to 1,500 people watching a live stream at one time, and
that's a beautiful thing.
It's crazy. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a really it's a big community too. Like we have a lot of regulars that come in, and we see them and we talk to them.
They're gonna build a relationship with you because they know you're the host of that, and they're gonna tune in. And once they fall in love with you doing being a breaker, they're gonna follow you to stand up or anything that you do. They're so invested in you wherever you go.
Exactly.
You take that audience with you,
and it's already happened. Like within weeks, months, whatever. You've already got these people going, oh, what's your Instagram? What's your TikTok? And then they see it and they go, oh, you're a comedian too. You got any sets? And I go, yeah, man, check it out on YouTube. And it just snowballs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yep.
And it's a beautiful thing. That's why I love this job so much.
In the midst of it all, you're still able to be a creative.
Be able to be a creative, be able to be myself, able to have fun working.
Absolutely.
And it allows me to still do comedy at night. If I want to go work a short-term film and TV gig, I can do that. And that's the beauty of this job, is it's flexible and fun. And it's still within the realm somewhat of film and TV, entertainment, creative content, you name it. So it's a really cool. It's very lucky. Like I'm very grateful to be in the position I am. I mean, a lot of things had to happen for me to be here right now. It is really crazy, and that's why I've kind of kept my head down and kept going, because there's always been something about being here. I mean, I would have never been here had my Marquette. They offered this trip called the LA Experience, where they sent 6 kids to come out to LA and network with other alums that have kind of made it out here. I got to go on the first trip ever they did, and that trip kind of set in stone the path for me to be out here, because I didn't know anybody out in LA.
Right.
I knew one person, I think, and that trip got me going, thinking maybe I can do this. Maybe I actually can make my footing here. It's not going to be impossible, because a lot of people make it seem impossible, but it's not. If you give it your all, you work hard out here, and you're personable person. Sky's the limit out here. And it's why I tell people when they're like, I'm thinking about LA, I'm thinking about giving it a shot. I go, you can do it. You just got to work hard, whatever.
I watched the interview with Tom Brady not too long ago where he said, what you know is limited. What you know is limited, but what you don't know is limitless. Just powerful quote.
Always be learning something else. Always meet a new person. I mean, shit, just being here tonight, I've met 10 new people tonight, and maybe most of them aren't from LA or anything, but like,
when you're just saying that, just makes me think about coming out here this time. When I came out here to LA we came out here to LA Friday, I only knew maybe 3-4 people.
Yeah,
we've interviewed almost 20 people up to this point, and network with other people that are not even comedians. But just think about that, we went from maybe knowing 3 or 4 people to almost 20 plus interviews in just 3 days already that we've been here. Like you saying, just being out here networking and meeting
crazy.
People. You never know, like the doors that are gonna open up.
It never stops either. You could be at a gas station, you could be at a restaurant, and you never know who you're gonna bump into. Absolutely. And you never know who that waiter might be, and that might help you. They might be the actor you're looking for that role in your movie that you're writing currently. You never know if that's that producer at that gas station. You never know if that's that booker at a comedy show that's at your bar. You never know. And that's why you always got to be on, and you always got to be friendly and open to ideas, open to opportunities. I mean, for the longest time, everything's word of mouth out here for film and TV jobs. That's 100% true. But after things started to fizzle out on set, right before I started this new job, I was ready to take on anything. I was ready to take on a restaurant gig, bar gig, whatever, just to make some income while I figured it out creatively, doing comedy, doing all that. As I was on Indeed, that's how I found this job.
Perfect.
It's crazy. And it never would have happened had I not been open to doing whatever needed to be done, which was a restaurant gig, what was a bar gig, whatever.
Do you think back home you could have done this, and like what's the mindset of people back at home? Is it anything like what you see? And it's not to bash anyone at home. You love where you're from, and you always want to love and support those people.
Yeah.
Or is the mindset like that where you're from, and you think you could have made it, done what you're doing back home?
I do believe I could have made it, because I'm just confident, and especially being from Chicago, like tight-knit group of people in Chicago, like well-connected. So I think in that realm, like that would have helped me make it. Wouldn't have had as many opportunities. It's growing right now in Chicago. It's definitely growing. But that was kind of my decision was, do I want to go to a place where it's growing, or do I want to go to a place where it's already grown and it's still growing? You know what I mean? And so that was my decision making it there. But it is a different thinking back in Chicago. It's more of a blue collar thinking. A lot of firemen, a lot of like blue collar jobs, and that kind of come from that neighborhood. But that really wasn't my speed. I always felt like I was more of a creative. That's going to get you somewhere regardless. I feel like even if I started in Chicago, I'd still be out in LA doing shows, meeting people that came into Chicago from LA to do shows. You know what I mean? I still think it's still going to go kind of full circle.
Absolutely.
It's just going to be different. But definitely,
Yes,
you got to be confident.
1,000%.
And if you're not confident in Chicago, but you're confident in LA, something's wrong. I mean, you got to be confident wherever you are.
Did it feel like you had the support back home? Because and we've been saying this over and over. It's like a lot of times when you're from a place where you're born and raised, a lot of people feel like they know you, so they don't get behind you and support you and push you as much as like when you come out here to LA and you're still trying to make a name for yourself, but you're working towards something. The strangers come out here and support you. Was it kind of like that for you at home, or?
So I come from a neighborhood in Chicago that my dad is very prevalent in, and he started the neighborhood watch in the neighborhood. He's a voice in the neighborhood. People know this guy in the neighborhood. So, this guy posts something on Facebook, and people show up. It's one of those things.
Gotcha.
So I would say like the close-knit community that I came from, they would show up. I got friends that I went to high school with that lived all over the city as well. So I think I have a pretty strong support system out there that I think Yeah, a little different than here. Took a little bit more to build because I kind of started from scratch out here, you know?
Right, right. How often do you get a chance to go back home now?
Like 2 times a year. At least 1, 2 times a year at best. I try to go in summer, and then definitely Christmas. I'm going back in about a week.
Okay.
And I try to perform if I can. I'm kind of in an influx position right now, so I won't be performing when I go back next week. But I think next time I go back in the summer, I'm gonna try and set up a couple shows,
Gotcha.
2-3 spots. But yeah, I try to get back a couple times a year.
Absolutely.
If there's no weddings or anything, because that goes
Oh,
off
yeah.
the rails real quick.
Yeah.
I'd done improv for like 5-6 years. It's a totally different speed because when you do improv, you're trying to almost act things out. You're in a scene. You're not just standing there talking. So when you do stand-up, it's on you. It's all on you.
Yep.
To bring it up, to have the energy, to have the delivery. And so my first couple of shows in Chicago didn't go well. I had people come out, it was packed. But they were kind of like, oh. Hey,
Is this what
this
it is?
is how it is. Oh, okay. His improv was better. Like, it was tough. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, it really didn't go well at all in Chicago. I came here, started doing improv to get started, and that went all right. I went to the wrong school. I think the style I did in college was more UCB and not Groundlings. I went to Groundlings, so I didn't really click there. And it was almost a blessing in disguise, though, because that kind of forced me to figure out stand-up out here.
Right.
And I would say about a year or 2 into doing it out here, it started to finally click. The joke writing, the persistence of delivery, because I think a lot of problems in Chicago when I started doing it there was I was so in my head memorizing the material and not delivering the material. Because in improv, you don't have to memorize anything. You just kind of go in and you go for it. And, if it's not perfect, that's almost better. In stand-up, you kind of got to have it down. If not memorized, bullet points to where you can kind of wiggle in and out.
What is it that you think that keeps you going, even like in Chicago where shows didn't go great, but you kept on going, even when you coming out here, you said you weren't invited back to other shows. What is it that you think that just kept you going? Because I know for a lot of people, when they do something and if it doesn't go the way they would expect it to go, or have a quick results, overnight results or something, they stop doing it. But what was it for you that just kept you going?
I think it was everybody's perspective, like other comedians' perspective, saying like, hey, I bombed for 2 years, like before I actually made it. Because, when you hear that and you're not a comedian or you're just starting out or something, you go, oh, sure, they're so good now, but sure they did. Sure they bombed for 2 years. But then you see it happen to you in real life and you're like, oh, this is what they were talking about. This is the part they were talking about. Okay, this wasn't that bad. Like, you can deal with bombing.
Right,
like, you bomb, it sucks. You get off stage, there's a new day tomorrow. But you go, oh, I can deal with this. I just got to deal with this for a stretch. And there'll be some positive strides. You keep at it. And so I think it was a lot of, like, successful comedians saying, like, hey, even I have bombed. Even I have done this. And it's going to take a minute. I think a lot of people's perspective kept me going, saying, like, even the best.
Would you say it's harder to, coming from blue collar, like you said, Chicago, is it harder to, get people to laugh or satisfy a crowd in Chicago as opposed to out here in LA where it's like a more laid back?
It's a good question, honestly. It's a really good question because it depends. Because, like, you could go to Chicago. Like, say I go there next week, I'm performing. You go there and you could do material about LA. Chicago people love to laugh at other places. I mean, and not like that. I don't mean it like that. I mean, like any city loves to laugh at other cities. Oh, what do they got that we don't got? Oh, what do we have that they don't got? So I think coming from LA, there's always that like perspective where they're like, oh, that's soft down LA. Oh, it's that laid back LA. So I can always I know the audience, so I can prep things that are that contrast of cities, or I can prep things that are of Chicago. Like the first show I did when I came back to Chicago, I did it at my dad's bar, which he doesn't own anymore. Sold it crazily 2 days before the pandemic. That was like the most insane timing for signing papers. I was like, man, go to Vegas tomorrow.
Cashed out
seriously. And he'd been selling it for like years, so like he was due.
It was in the making.
But it was just the craziest timing I had ever seen. But anyway, we did a show there, and it was such a homecoming show. It was my first year leaving town, and I did all bits about that bar because I had grown up above that bar for years. And, you know, as a kid going to school the next day, they're up at the bar till 2 a.m. So I'm hearing all the ruckus and all the craziness that's going on downstairs. And I go downstairs the next morning, and I see all the pictures on the wall of what they do, standing on the bar, dancing on the bar. And so I came into that show going, I'm going to do a bunch of material about the bar because I've had years to come up with this material. And so I don't know, something about, and maybe not specifically to Chicago, but something about doing it in another city, it gives you an option. How are you going to prep this set? How are you going to kind of come in with perspective? Are you going to come in with, I'm from a different city perspective, and here's what I'm coming in with? Or are you going to come in with, say for Chicago, I'm from Chicago. Here's my perspective coming from the other city. Here's my perspective coming back home. It depends. It's interesting because I did bits that I did out here. When I went back to Chicago I did like a mini tour. I did like 3 sets in a weekend a few years ago. I did those same bits, and they crushed in Chicago, maybe almost more. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's them hearing this for the first time, and you know, I perform at similar venues, so I don't know if it's a similar crowd, but it's something about a fresh set of ears, fresh set of fresh region. You know, it's just there's different perspectives everywhere, and that's what's so beautiful about comedy as well.
Absolutely.
Is that there's all these perspectives clashing, and you can tour, you can go wherever and do these jokes.
And it keeps you on your toes as well, because you know everybody's not gonna laugh at the same thing. And
man.
To study your crowd and know where you're going and like kind of like know what they like, what they don't like, that type of stuff. So it keeps you on your toes.
You learn so much with every set. It doesn't even matter if you're doing it in the same city. Pasadena to LA is different.
Absolutely.
LA to South Bay is different. I perform a lot at Ponchos in Manhattan Beach. A great show, by the way. Monday nights. They run a fantastic show it's a little hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurant. It's amazing. That's where I kind of got my start. My buddy runs that show over there. That's a totally different crowd that you're going to see at the Improv. That's a totally different crowd that you're going to see at, you know, a backyard show, something I run, you know, an ice house show. Because that's, you know, you got South Bay people that live there. You've got tourists that are staying in the South Bay. It's such a different vibe, and that makes you such a better comedian because you know how to handle different audiences. You know what works, what doesn't work with different audiences.
My final 2 questions that we get ready to wrap this interview
For sure,
up.
yeah, man.
I love to ask, like, what advice would you have for someone if they don't want to, maybe they don't want to be a comedian, but they just want to go after their dreams and just feel fulfilled in life? What advice would you have for them?
I would tell them to, whatever the dream is, whatever, even if it's not a full-fledged, completed thought dream, whatever it is, wherever you think you can have the most success, jump in it. Because I truly didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't. Like, I knew I wanted to do something creative, and I figured this would be the best place to figure it out. Get on to film and TV sets, kind of bop around, see what's going on, see how this works with me. And I love doing film and TV stuff. I love being on set. I think it's great to be around people, some of the best people I've ever met in this town on set. But I never truly loved anything specifically. I like producing. I like doing a lot of different things. But it took me 5-6 years to find something I really loved. And I didn't even know I loved it until I came here and had to go through all these different hoops. Like this job I do now as a breaker, it incorporates so many different things that I'm good at and I like doing. I like talking to people. I like being entertaining. I like doing some comedy. And also to take it one step further back, I would have never even been here had I not taken the leap to apply for that trip to send kids out here from our school. It was a free application through our major.
And it helped plant the seed for what you
100%. I said, if I want to do this, you got to take this shot right now. They're giving you a shot to go to the mecca of it all. Like, Chicago's cool, But if you really want to do this, this is the
LA
shot.
is.
This is the shot. And I was like, it's a free application. I went to a coffee shop, straight up, went to a coffee shop for 3 hours, wrote a badass essay, straight honest. And all the questions were, what are you going to do if you go to LA? What are you going to do? Like, what's going to be your, strategy? Like, how are you going to make it out there? Got that job, that 6-week job turned into 9 months. And that 9-month job got me here long enough to make other connections in the realms I wanted to be in. And then that kind of just keeps webbing.
Keeps
it just
snowballing.
keeps going.
Yeah,
it is crazy, but it is scary. But that is what I've told people that have been like, I don't know, I kind of want to do this. If you work hard, you talk to people, and you're friendly, and you're open to things that maybe you're not privy to initially, it can happen for you.
Absolutely.
It is not impossible. I am
Absolutely.
a living proof of it. It's crazy, man.
Man, and I'm so happy that you shared that, man. And I know people, when they go back and watch the interview, it's definitely going to be something they gravitate to.
You gotta find, even if it's shitty. And sorry, I don't know if we can swear.
Oh,
on
you
this.
good? Yeah,
okay.
you good. Go ahead.
Even
yeah.
if it's shitty, you can find a way to make a bright spot. You can find a way to take a positive from it, and that's how you kind of keep it going. You take this job, and you talk to the people at that job and go, what are you going to next? And you kind of just keep it going. Just don't get discouraged, because there's so much discouragement in this town. Whether it's just based on your physical appearance down to your job, it doesn't matter. There's so much of it, but if you can prevail and just keep your head down and stay positive and keep looking for opportunities,
Absolutely.
it's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that advice. My last and final question before we get out of here that I ask everyone at the end: what does self-investment mean to you?
Self-advancement? Investment. I mean, it means a lot of things. I mean, it means giving a shit about yourself. I mean, obviously that's very vague, but I mean, that's taking care of your body. That's watching what you eat. That's exercising, getting enough sleep, saying no to things that you shouldn't go to. Longevity is key. Take the sleep. You can miss one night. There's always going to be another event. There's always going to be another another meet for a drink, another connection to make. But take care of yourself. Self-investment is taking care of yourself, and longevity, and giving a shit is the foundation of it, because there's a lot of people that don't hear, and they still find success, but people know who really care about their craft and what it is that they're people know.
investing in.
You can tell. And as someone from Chicago, when I first came here, you can tell who's fake and who's not very easily, and you can find your way. So I think it's about longevity, taking care of yourself, and just being open-minded, because you never know truly when the next break is coming.
Absolutely. Connor, thank you so much for your time, man.
Great
conversation. I really enjoyed this, man. I
appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, like, even not performing, like, seriously,
absolutely.
I love any time I can give any perspective, because I really want people to go for it. I really do.
Absolutely.
Because I was in that same position, and I was like, I don't know, and it's like, you got to, man. You really got to.
It's great to hear.
You only got one life.
That helps me as well, just because, trying to figure out the next move, and I was just like, you know what? I left my job 3 months ago. I was there for 10 years, but I was like, man, I just didn't feel time, and it's just like, I was like, man, it's like it's never gonna be a perfect time, and it's just fortunate. God was just pushing me like, go, it's time. You've been here long enough. Do what you want to do, and I've already had the exposure of working with professional teams and creating my own opportunities and traveling across the country. And he was just telling me like, look what I can do for you. Like, I'm showing you, like, this is already here for you. You trust me to, provide you with everything that you need. So it's up to you now to take that opportunity and run with it.
Absolutely.
3 months ago, man, I just said, that's it.
That's it.
Done.
Well, you could be comfortable, you get that check every week, but are you happy?
Exactly. And there's so many people that get held in bondage, even though they hate the job, they
100%.
stay there. But, man, you just have to be willing to.
And it's not to say it's easy. It's not an easy decision, There's a lot of life stuff that happens that you can't make that decision right away. But never let it leave your mind. You know what I mean? Because you will have a shot. You will have an opportunity to make that move like you did 3 months ago.
Absolutely.
You'll have a shot. and that's when you got to be ready to take it.
Because I look at it like two bits of advice that I heard that was so great. I heard Maverick Carter, who runs with LeBron, say,
Sure.
quantify your upside versus your downside, meaning, let's say you have a college degree. I have a college degree. He was like, the worst that can happen is just go after your dreams. The best possibility, you can go after your dreams and you make it. But if you don't, the downside is you don't make it. Well, at least you got a college degree, so you can always go get a job.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
And you know in yourself that you went for it, at least.
Went
you know
for
what
it,
I mean?
yep.
You can't go look back and go, man, I wish I had done that
Thank
10
you,
years ago.
yep.
You know what I mean? Because you can't. Time is money.
Connor, thank you for your time. Before we get out of here, can you please tell everybody how to find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can watch me. You guys can watch me live almost every day during the week at DAP Sports, ripping baseball, ripping basketball, ripping football. But on Instagram, you can find me at Catch Money. Same thing at TikTok. Catch Money. It's CACC Money. You guys, check it out. It's gonna be awesome, man. Comedian, comedy, sports cards, whatever you need.
Absolutely.
Fun
So,
stuff.
hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Crossline Podcast here at the Ice House Comedy Club in Pasadena, California. Till next time, keep chasing your dreams. Thank you for listening.
Oh, we did the point at the same time.
Yep.
See, that was so damn good.